The greatest betrayals in human history was not always written by heroes, but by those who betrayed them. Kings lost their crowns, nations fell, brothers killed brothers, and each time, the world heard the quiet breaking of a heart. But betrayal is not always a dagger. Sometimes it's a silence, sometimes a smile, sometimes the soft promise of, "I'll protect you." Betrayal is the oldest language humanity ever spoke. And this is the story of those who spoke it best. In the heart of Rome, beneath the cold marble floors of the Senate, a shadow stretched long. Emperor Julius Caesar, the man who turned Rome into an eternal power, was adored by the people, yet envied by his closest allies. Brutus, once the man Caesar trusted most, dined with him, drank from the same cup. But that day, the cry that echoed through the marble columns changed history forever. As Caesar fell, bleeding on the Senate floor, he saw a familiar face among his attackers. Et tu, Brute. In that moment, not only an emperor died, a friendship did too. Rome was never the same again. Brutus fled, hunted by shame and guilt, and in the end, fell upon his own sword. History remembered his name with a single word: betrayal. Night fell on the Mount of Olives. A man prayed in the whispering wind, "Jesus." His followers stood beside him, calling him Rabbi. But one carried darkness in his heart, Judas. When Judas sold Jesus for silver, one counted two, and Judas sold Jesus. Perhaps he was afraid. Perhaps he thought he was serving a divine plan. But that kiss became the quietest and heaviest betrayal in all of history. Because some betrayals begin not with blood but with tears. Jesus was taken away. Morning came, Edistan Godblowed, and the world fell silent. Judas threw the 30 pieces of silver to the ground and ended his own life. The price of betrayal is not always gold. Sometimes, it's the soul itself. Centuries later, in medieval England, the throne trembled. While King Richard the Lionheart fought in the Holy Land, he left his brother John to rule. But John saw opportunity. He raised taxes, made secret pacts with enemies, and betrayed even his own people. When Richard returned, he found a kingdom in ruins and a brother who had traded loyalty for power. For generations, the English cursed the name John, and his story reminded the world, it's hard to keep a crown, but impossible to keep trust. The eyes of the world turned toward Constantinople. The Byzantine Empire was living its final days. Sultan Mehmed's army stood at the walls, but the true danger was inside. Some Byzantine soldiers, driven by fear or greed, sold secrets to the Ottomans. Some revealed the locations of the gates for gold. And that final night, a door was opened from within. The city's fall was not just the triumph of cannons, but a betrayal. Emperor Constantine fought to his last breath, but the gate opened by betrayal ended an entire era. Centuries passed. At the dawn of the modern age, flayed as Alipox and Havardas's canny, the Ottoman Empire was fading, a giant weakened from within. Corruption spread through the veins of the state. Some pashas sold their loyalty to foreign powers, while others called their treachery diplomacy. And one day, a 600-year empire fell not with an explosion, but with the quiet collapse of trust. For once more, history whispered, a nation is not destroyed by its enemies, but by the hands that sell it from within. When the wars ended, betrayal did not. Nations that swore allegiance to each other sold their promises for profit. Leaders lied to their people, and the world was reshaped not by war, but by signatures wearing the mask of friendship. Betrayal had evolved. It was no longer a blade, it was a pen. Today, betrayal is no longer found on battlefields. It lives on our screens. Truth has been replaced by lies, faith by ambition, friendship by masks. People are loyal not to each other, but to their interests. And maybe the greatest betrayal of our age is the betrayal of truth itself. For truth no longer dies by the hand of the enemy, but by the silence of those who should have spoken. Throughout history, millions of betrayals have been committed. Kings, friends, nations, and ideals all sold. But behind every betrayal, one shadow always remained: regret. When man looks into the eyes of God, he always asks the same question: Why did you stay silent? Lord, but God was never silent. It was humanity too loud to hear him. Betrayal is the moment when man stands farthest from God, and at the end of every betrayal, one prayer echoes in every heart. I wish I hadn't said those words. I wish I hadn't opened that door. I wish I hadn't betrayed. History does not remember the traitors, but those who stood tall despite them. Because loyalty is the quiet hero of every percented age. Betrayal is the oldest story of humankind, but it is also the beginning of every rebirth. For betrayal destroys, but from the ruins, a new eye opens to see the truth. Rome, Jerusalem, Constantinople, London, all teach the same lesson. An empire is not destroyed by its enemies, but by its friends. And a nation is reborn only through loyalty. Hard Times tells the darkest truths of history, because only by understanding the darkness can we truly value the interscown light.